We'll get started. So I've named this practice All the King's Men because as I was doing the practice, I was realizing I was doing all the king poses like King Dancer and King Arthur and King Pigeon. And we'll see, I may or may not get to headstand, the king of all asanas. So you can sort of keep that in mind when practicing. So as always, if we haven't met, I'm Jennifer Elliott, and this is VinYin or Vinyasa and Yin. It's about half and half of the practice. I'm using 2 blocks today. You don't have to. That may not be available in your house. I'm using a strap, and I've just pre-looped my strap. If you have a strap with a loop or a belt or something, great, a towel, grab it. This is just what I had. And then we might use a little bit of wall space with a blanket later. So those are things, if you have them, grab them. And then we'll get started either in a 2-block heart opener, or if you have no props, you can start flat on your back with your arms in cactus. So we'll get started. Okay, so find your way into either your 2-block heart opener. You can see you're sort of pressing the back body, the scapula, into the front ribs. I'm supporting my head nicely here. Arms out to the sides, palms open, or again, you're flat and those elbows are bent and you've got cactus arms. So whatever is in your body. I have my knees bent. You can explore that with your body if you want to try something else. And just let the eyes close. Draw the attention in on you. And notice how you feel. What's happening within. I don't always necessarily like to tell us where we're going. I think it's a nice way to know what our poses are, but sometimes that creates an expectation. Can you do them? Can you not? How do you feel about those poses? And I prefer rather seeing how you feel when you arrive. So even though you have an idea of some of the poses we're doing, don't become attached to those. Just see where you're at once you arrive in those moments. And if they work, great. If they don't, just as great. And we can use our breath as an anchor tool to bring yourself to center. And let's take a nice full inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and let it out. In through the nose. Open the mouth and let it out. In through the nose. Hold. Sip a bit more breath in through the nose. Sip a bit more breath in. Open the mouth and let it out. Take an inhale through the nose. And an exhale back out. All right. With your next inhale, send the arms overhead. Reach behind you and maybe grab onto your elbows. You can just frame your face. And some of you, that means your forearms will be resting on your forehead. Others of you, the forearms will be passing the forehead. Whatever makes sense in your shoulder blades right now. So hold on to your elbow tips and lengthen your framed arms back behind you, just sort of lengthening the side waist. And as you're pulling the arm bones back, feel the inner shoulders right around the neck relax. Then go ahead and switch. Whichever arm is on top, go ahead and switch. So the other arm is on top. Again, lengthen through the side body. Release the inner shoulder blades down back. And then gently release. Bend your knees if they weren't already. Roll to your side. If you have these blankets, or these blocks rather, go ahead and move them out of your way. We'll keep one if you have one. If you don't have a block, I'll try to maneuver without. But let's take our strap if you have one and slide it over your foot. So at the very least, stretching your right hamstrings. You can hold on to the strap as I am here. But since I have the loop in my strap, I'm going to add one extra thing. I'm going to slide my arms in so that the strap goes right to my elbows, palms together. And I have a pretty short strap here, so depending on what type of strap or belt you have, you can adjust this so that maybe as you take the prayer hands behind you, you're not only stretching the back of the arm, the triceps, but also the hamstrings. You can explore that. And then maybe straighten the left leg out on the floor. You can slowly lower it down or even hover the left leg so that you're activating the core here. Navel to spine. And maybe set that foot down. Couple of breaths. If you have a strap, go ahead and place it in your left hand or however you'd like to do this, and just simply tip over to the left. Make this a twist. You can cross the right leg over the left. Right arm can move out to the side. It's nice to peel that left shoulder blade out from underneath you, so you're really getting into the upper back. I got a nice good crack. Take another breath. And come back to center. And then put your left foot into the strap if that's what you have. Right foot just set on the floor for a moment. Slide your elbows into the strap, palms into prayer. You can stay as you are, especially if the low back needs a little time to sort of settle in. Or the prayer hands can reach a little further behind you, so there's this gentle pulling of that leg back. Maybe you go slow as you straighten the right leg, pressing out through the heel, and just letting it lower ever so slowly to the ground. Couple breaths. And then we'll take that into a twist, so strap into the right hand or however you'd like to cross, left leg over right. And return to center. Pull the knees into your chest. You can move the strap away for a moment. Now, if you have a block, grab it. If not, you can maybe do elbow to thigh, but the knees are bent. I'm going to take the block, the short sides, one short side against the top of the left thigh, and then the other short side against the back of the left elbow. So I'm resisting here. So you can bring the limbs together if there is no block, but this is just really nice. Take your right foot to the ceiling, take your right hand to the ceiling, and inhale, move the right hand back, the foot forward, any amount, just to where you feel in control. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, the right side moves forward and back, the left side stays stationary, and bring it back. Now just continue on your own. Move slow and with control. Move the right side, keep the left side nice and anchored. Now we stretched the hamstrings before this, so hopefully this feels okay, but you can always sort of bend elbow and knee if that feels better for you. But again, just see how you feel. We'll do about 5 more. Knees together. Move this block to the right side. So press it against the thigh, hold there with the back of the arm, less than the elbow. So it's not really about the elbow, we're about getting into the tricep, the back of the arm. So have that left foot to the ceiling, left hand to the ceiling. And with your breath, inhale, left side moves. Exhale, bring it back. Continue on your own. Notice if one side was stronger than the other. And we'll do about 5 more to even out. One more. And knees together. All right, hands under knees or however you'd like to rock up to seated. You can just cross comfortably at the ankles, and if you have that strap again, go ahead and grab it. If not, no big deal. You're going to take the strap into your right hand. Take your right hand and turn it behind you and place the hand on the shoulder. Just sit up really tall. So again, we're getting into that tricep. Find length here. Draw your chin down a little bit so that your chin is level to the floor. Bring the left arm underneath. You can find the strap wherever you are. Walk the hands as close together as they'll go. You might even just keep your hands on the strap, or you might hold your hands. And take another breath here. And then very gently release the hands. You're going to place the right hand on the floor behind you. Just cross the left hand to the right knee. Sit up tall, find length, inhale. Exhale, drive the belly and turn the torso to the right. And try to use the abdominals, not the leverage of the arms. Inhale, tall, long spine. Exhale, belly in and twist. One more. Inhale and exhale. Now keep the hand on the knee. Turn your torso back towards me or the front of your mat. Send the right arm high, palm faces the center line, and then just simply tip over to the left. Get a nice side body stretch. Find center, release the hands, switch to the cross of the ankles, and then if a strap was working for you, put it in your left hand. Left hand to the ceiling, turn the hand back, and place that hand on the shoulder. Open up through the chest, draw the chin down, chin level to the floor, and then maybe sweep that right arm behind the back. See if you can reach for the strap or hold your top hand. Couple breaths. All right, release. Left hand can go on the floor behind you. Cross so that that right hand moves to the left knee. Inhale, tall, lengthen. Exhale, navel in, slowly twist to the left. Inhale, tall. Exhale, navel in, rebel. One more. Find your way through center. Reach the left arm high and tip it over to the side. Find center and release. Okay, come to hands and knees. And as you find hands and knees, start to move it through some cat-cows. So table pose, cat-cow, child's pose, all that fun stuff. I'll join you here in a moment. Start to connect with your breath. So inhale, pulling the chest forward. Exhale, rounding the spine. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, round. One more, pull the chest through and round it back. Hinge back, hips to heels. Let the forehead go. I have a nice little spider on my mat. Give me a moment to get him. Anyone who knows me knows I don't kill any bugs, which can make it quite interesting, like in moments like now. Okay, we just may have to let him do his thing. All right, so find your way into downward facing dog. There we go. All right. So again, cat-cow, child's pose, down dog, if you hadn't already moved through that. So as you pedal the feet out, start to draw the heels down. Reach up through the hips, let the head relax. Just shift forward. So shift forward into plank, shoulders over wrists, maybe adjust your feet. And then lift up through the hips and go back, down dog. And again, shift forward, plank, lead with the heart. Lift up and back, downward facing dog. One more on your own. And when you get to down dog, raise your right leg up halfway. Take an inhale. Exhale, knee to nose as you shift forward. Pull the knee into the chest. Inhale the leg back. Exhale, knee to the left arm, lift it high. Inhale the leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. Step the foot next to the right thumb tip. Drop the back knee down. Keep the back toes tucked under so you can really press out through the heel. And then bring the arms up into Anjaneyasana. So as you come up here, the back knee for a moment is on the ground, but you're really pressing through the heel. And when you do that, you can feel it really gets into the front of the left thigh. Drop the left hand to the back, just like we did with the strap. Use the right hand to guide it in, lift the chest. Keep pressing out through the back heel, and then option to just lift the back knee a couple of inches and hover. And the main goal here is to lift up through the pubic bone, get a deeper stretch, but hug the thighs to the inner line so you're really working the legs. And if this feels like a lot or the knee is bothering you, just keep the knee down. Find your breath, one more. Slowly with control, set the knee down. Untuck the back toes, bring your hands to your heart, inhale. And then exhale, slowly twist to the right, elbow over the knee. With that leverage, lengthen, inhale. Exhale, belly and twist. Couple of breaths. Gradually unwind, hands to the floor, hinge back, front toes come up, Ardha Hanumanasana, or if the back knee down is bothering, you can always lift that back knee up into a wide pyramid. So the main goal is to get into the hamstrings, pull the chest forward, find your breath. And then shift forward, however you make your way to plank. And then from the hips, down dog. The left leg lifts, height of the hip, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, pull the knee high to the chest. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to the right arm. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to nose, step the foot next to the left thumb tip. Drop the back knee down, keep the back toes tucked under as you drive out through the heel. Send the arms up, Anjaneyasana. And even if you don't move anywhere, keep driving out through that back heel. You can feel how this changes the pose. Right hand to the shoulder, left hand guides the elbow in. Drop the chin a little bit, pull the ribs in. Stay here or push through the back heel and go slow, lift to a gentle hover. Keep lifting the frontal hip bones, finding your breath. Slowly lower down. Untuck the toes, hands to your heart, inhale. Exhale and twist, elbow over knee. Lengthen the spine and belly in and twist. Gradually unwind, hands down to the floor or props. Hinge back, Ardha Hanumanasana. Or if you were like me on the first side, I lifted the back knee and did it more as a wide pyramid. Now I say wide pyramid more just because my toes are lifted, the back heel isn't down. I'm not trying to get into a full Parvottanasana. Shift forward, step to plank, top of a push-up. All right, this time, tip forward on toes or knees, lower halfway chaturanga hold, maybe lower all the way down. Lift your heart, slide onto your forearms, and find Sphinx. Take your arms, make sure they're parallel and elbows are right on your shoulders. Drag the arm bones back, pull the chest forward, press down firmly through the tops of the feet. You might stay here. I'm going to bring my palms together into prayer and just interlock the thumbs. Or you can come up and find a nice plank on the forearms. And the palms together, it's a little easier on the shoulders. We're here 5 breaths. Knees down. Belly in as you lower it, back to Sphinx. And we'll find our way up through down dog. All right, take a couple breaths here. High to your toes. Bend your knees, look forward, step or hop, top of the mat. Come up halfway, chest is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, reach the arms to the sky, palms press to the top, navel in and up. Exhale, hands to heart. Okay, Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salute A. Take an inhale, reach the arms high, palms press. Exhale, forward fold, soften the knees on the way down. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, step to plank. Tip forward on toes or knees, lower halfway, chaturanga, hold. Maybe flip over the toes, up dog or lower to the ground for your back bend of choice. Look down your nose a little bit. From the hips, lift up and back. Downward facing dog. All right, we've had a lot of movement. Let's take a good 5 breaths here. Really settle in. High to your toes, bend your knees, step or hop, top of the mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Inhale, arms reach to the sky, palms press, navel in. And exhale, hands to heart. Round 2. Inhale, arms rise, Utthita Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, you can either jump to chaturanga, bent elbows, or step to plank and lower for your vinyasa. Back bend of your choice. Down dog. 5 breaths. Hands are shoulder width apart, feet are hip width apart. Really root through your inner hands. Biceps spin forward, triceps wrap back. Inhale to the toes. Exhale, bend your knees, step or hop, top of the mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, arms to the sky, palms press. And exhale, hands to heart. Okay, 3 rounds on your own, Surya A. If you don't know it, just make it up. We meet in your 3rd downward facing dog. Breath stops, movement stops, moving meditation. If you're a jumper, land with bent elbows. You can always be on knees. You can always change out your back bend. You can always take child's pose. Remember, that's an option. 3 to 5 breaths in this down dog. Feet come out early. You need a rest. Child's pose is always there. Otherwise, we have 1 more round. We meet in your next down dog. All right, so making your way to down dog if you haven't already. From down dog, just set your knees down onto the ground. Now you can do this with straight arms, you can do this with blocks. I'm going to use blocks for me because I really like how this feels, but you may not have that available. So I'm resting my forearms down on the blocks, my hands are in that prayer hand. I'm going to walk my elbow tips away from me, and I'm going to walk my knees back. Let the chest hang through the center. I'm trying to get under the back of the arm. Let the head hang. Anahatasana. Couple breaths. All right, bring yourself out slowly. Move your blocks to the front if you'd like. Downward facing dog. So raising the right leg up halfway, step it to the center of the hands, directly in the middle. Anchor the back heel down, come on up, warrior two. So as you find your poses, always lining up, front heel, back arch, getting yourself set. And then reverse it right away. Left arm behind the back, right arm reaches high, just like we did in the beginning. Couple of breaths. And then see if you can turn the torso towards the side wall. So just like warrior two, the torso turns, but you're going to drop the right hand behind the back. Now you can either reach for it with the left hand, like Gomukhasana, or just use that left arm to bring the elbow back. So the chest is to the side wall, just like a regular warrior two. Make sure the right kneecap points at the center of the foot. Couple more breaths. Straighten the right leg. Pull the hip back. Start to reach forward with the right hand and set yourself up for triangle. Trikonasana. Pull the right hip back. Reach the crown of the head forward. Top arm is up to you. And then look forward of your mat and step up about a foot. Ardha Chandrasana. Just move that hand forward, pick up the back leg. Once you get yourself set, start to bend your top knee and reach back for the ankle. If you don't get the ankle, you can just bend the knee or you can stay with a straight leg. Straighten the top leg if it wasn't already. Mindfully step back, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale to the floor. Step to plank, yogi's choice. Vinyasa, a set of push-ups, or right to down dog. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Exhale, step it to the center of the hands. Anchor the back heel down. Come on up, warrior two. Couple breaths here. Reverse it right away. Take a moment, lengthen the side waist. And then as you lift up out of the left side waist, turn the torso to the side wall without taking that bent knee with you. Lengthen up out of the left hip. Then drop your left hand to your back. You can stay there. Hold the elbow tip. Or this may be the side that you reach back like Gomukhasana. Couple breaths. Straighten the left leg. Start to shift the hips back. To lead yourself into your triangle pose. I'm going to stay here just because my props aren't handy. I'll reach for them in a moment. Take your time. Look forward of your front foot. Bend your knees. Step up slowly. Ardha Chandrasana. Take your time. Maybe reach for that ankle. Shavasana. Straighten the leg. Step back mindfully. Warrior two. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Exhale to the floor. Find your way to plank, yogi's choice again. Vinyasa, a set of push-ups, or right to down dog. Find your breath. Inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, step it to the center of the hands. Look up on inhale, and then exhale, turn to the left. All 10 toes face the sidewall. Left hand, once you line up the feet, is on the floor or blocks, right under the heart. So pull your chest forward, find length, square the hips, and then take that right arm high. Nice twist. Bring the hand down, right hand under the heart, pull the chest forward, level the hips, left arm reaches high. If you're really leveling the hips, the hand doesn't go as high as you want it. You gotta sort of bring it back, lengthen the spine, and open. If you have low back concerns, no big deal, let that hip move. And release. Lengthen the spine, hug those outer hips in, and then fold right down through the center. Some of you, your head will touch the floor. And if you're into this and you want to move into tripod, go for it. I don't tend to do it often in my body anymore. I have a lot of neck concerns. So I'd rather get the traction here and just let the head hang. But some of you I know really like tripod. Gaze up halfway, come down if you're already in headstand. Turn to the right, find your lunge. And then step to plank, vinyasa, or right to down dog. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Exhale, step it to the center of the hands. Look up, inhale. Exhale, turn to the right. Stay where you are. Pull your chest forward, find length. And then yogi's choice with the hands, any version you'd like. All right, come up halfway. Most of you will be turning to the left to find your lunge. And step back. Take your vinyasa or right to down dog. All right, last time, inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, step the foot next to the right thumb tip. So it's more narrow or off to the right rather than the center line. And then stay up on the back toes, come on up into crescent. So similar to how we did earlier, bend your back knee enough that you can sort of sink into it and you feel like you can lift your pubic bone. Send the arms high, hug the thighs to the midline, find your breath. Hands to your heart, take an inhale. Exhale, as you drive up through the back heel, you can twist to the right, elbow over the knee. Lengthen your spine, take a couple of breaths here. And then look forward, try to keep the weight on the right foot, nice and rooted in one step or more. Left foot next to the right, twisting chair. Have the seat a little bit lower. Pull the heart forward, inhale. Exhale, open. Maybe you feel like opening those arms. You can use your props. Some of you I know like arm balances, whatever you'd like. Forward fold, let it go. All right, how are we doing? We just have side two. So pull your chest forward, inhale. Exhale, step or float back. Vinyasa, or right to down dog. Left leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, step it next to the left thumb tip. Pause there, press out through the back heel, and then go slow. Come on up, crescent. But notice what's happening with the back leg. Can you bend the back knee? Kind of exaggerated as you sink in. Get your balance, arms up, find your breath. Hands to your heart, inhale. Press out through the back heel, exhale, twist, elbow over the knee. Pull your chest forward, find breath, drive out through the back heel. All the way through the left leg, in one step or more, back foot to the front. All right, sink in, pull the chest forward, inhale, exhale, twist. Stay or open the arms. I know I'm feeling it too. I took a huge hike yesterday. So if your legs are tired, so are mine. I feel it. Some of you took an arm bounce. Whew. And unwind. Well done, everyone. Take a moment here, feet wide. Nice standing forward fold. Grab your elbows and breathe. Switch the clasp. And knees soft. Roll yourself all the way up to stand. Okay, so we're going to start moving into some of our king poses. We're going to stretch the front thigh. Now the pose I'm going to show you at the wall, King Arthur, may not be for your knee, so any version of maybe reaching for your ankle, pulling the leg in, and really pressing out through the thigh. So you can do it like I am here standing. You could do it on your belly. I'm actually going to move to the wall and do King Arthur. So I already have a blanket at the wall. You don't need much space. I'm going to put my knee on that blanket, my foot up the wall. I already know sort of my wall doesn't feel great against my foot, so I happen to have this little towel here. I'm just going to put between my foot and the wall. Okay, so you can place your hands on your props and stay low here. Where you've done a little bit of work, you might feel like you can bring your hands to your thigh, King Arthur. Or, as you get a little bit closer, if this feels okay for you, maybe see if you can bring your hands to the wall. Pull the front ribs in, couple of breaths. And again, any version of this is fine. Our goal here is to stretch the front of the thigh, so it may not be in this particular pose. It is our King Arthur pose. All right, now when you come out of this in a moment, it's super important. Sometimes when we come out of this, the foot and the shin kind of go off to the side, which is going to torque the knee, if we can imagine that's the knee. So when we come out of this, we want to be real specific to protect the knee. So I'm going to lean forward. I'm going to tuck the toes under, move my little towel here. Tuck the toes under on the wall, just like we did in the lunge on the mat. Press into the foot and step straight out. And then we'll do the other side. So bring the other knee down. I don't know why, but side two is always more squeaky. Add your little prop if you need, or you're taking something similar to this pose. Any version of it you'd like. I'm trying to get a little closer to the wall, pull my front ribs in, I'm taking out my picture, and really try to move to the center line. So I'm moving slow. If arms up feels like a lot of work, just stay centered. Couple of breaths. If you had that strap with a loop in it, you're going to want to grab that in a moment. Okay, again, be conscious of your knees. You come out of this pose. Tuck your toes under on the wall. Press straight out of it. And find your way to standing. Okay, so we're going to grab the strap with the loop. If you don't have the loop, you might be really flexible. I'm not real flexible in my front hips, in my shoulders in a way that makes it where I can reach back for my foot. So this is the way I'm going to do it. You can do it the same way as well. So I'm going to take the strap. I'm going to demo first, and I'm just going to place it over my right foot. and get a little bend in my knee. Now I'm not lifting with the strap, I want the hamstring to do the work. So I'm just gonna hold onto the strap. I'm gonna cinch it down next to my foot and take a moment to draw the knee down, the pubic bone up. And the elbow is gonna come in towards me. As I slide the hand up, the elbow is gonna come up like we've been doing before, but this is all hamstrings. Navel is in. I'm not trying to pull up with the hand. Okay, if this is okay for you, maybe add the second hand, both hands on the strap. Use your navel, pull it in, maybe walk the hands closer. Some of you can actually reach for the back big toe. That's not my camp. We've met another of our king poses, king dancer, not Vrajasana. Belly in, find your breath. Use the hamstrings. And gently release. Okay, how do you do? Side two. You can take that strap over the foot. Take a moment. Find your breath. And again, you can be anywhere you want here. You see here, my foot is nowhere near being up high in that pose, and that's fine. I'm still getting some of the work done. So meet yourself where you are. Don't feel like you have to be any particular place in this pose. So again, elbow in, slide the elbow up. This might be it. Or use your hamstrings to lift the foot. Maybe add that second arm so you can draw the elbows in, belly in. So try to take the belly, hug it back to the spine. As you lift the hamstrings, find your breath. All right, slowly unwind and release. Okay, set that strap aside. Find your way to the top of your mat. Inhale, sit back chair. Exhale, forward. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, step or float back. Vinyasa. Slide your right leg forward and find your way into a nice pigeon pose. Now I'm gonna grab my timer and my phone so I can talk us through this. And we'll sort of make this a yin pose, although we have a couple of other postures after. A couple challenge poses. There we go. Okay, so if it's not for you to move into pigeon, find thread the needle, anything else that works for you. We'll be here about a minute and a half or so, and then we'll add on to the binds. We'll make this our king pigeon, if you will. Notice we've been doing a lot of sort of heart openers, so maybe the heart is pumping, you feel warm. More breaths here. All right, so you're welcome to stay in that pose, but I'm going to give you some options in it. So you can lift up, find your breath. We've been moving through this. Maybe reach for the back ankle. Now, a few options. You might slide your foot into your elbow crease. Reach for your hands in that same Gomukhasana like we've been doing the whole time. Or maybe you'd like to do it just like we did in our King Dancer pose. So you can take your strap around your foot. Some of you are flexible enough to grab your big toe. Again, that's not my camp, but we'll do it the same. Elbow in, reaching it up, belly in, maybe reaching for that strap with both hands. Navel in, find your breath. You can press the foot back, lift the belly in. You're here about another minute, so take care of you. It may not be advantageous for you to stay here. You may need to be somewhere else in your practice. What makes sense for you? These last 5 breaths. How we doing? Okay, so in a moment the timer is going to go off. And you're just going to move your way any way you'd like into downward facing dog. Slide to your left leg, pigeon pose. Ooh, now I'm feeling my hike, or any version that you'd like. Again, we'll be here about those 3 minutes, about halfway through. I'll give you those options, but you know them now, so sort of just take whatever you did on side 1. Notice your breath. Now, after this pose, we sort of inserted a yin pose in. We'll do just a little bit of core stabilization and a dolphin. Some of you may have a headstand practice. You can take it. I think I'm going to skip it today and just stay with the core work because I want to give us our last couple of yin postures. So that's sort of our goal. And you'll notice that in these postures, you really have to activate the core. So the navel really has to pull in so you don't feel this so much in your lower back. All right, so almost halfway there, so just begin on your own. Make your transition in this posture if you'd like. You can reach for the foot, maybe that's more than enough. Foot into elbow crease, maybe you add those Gomukhasana arms. Or use your strap, or if you're fortunate enough to be flexible, maybe reach for your big toe. But sometimes being flexible has its own things, then your work is stability. Sort of this happy medium. Not too flexible, not too stiff. Changes though day to day, I'm sure you feel the same. About a minute left wherever you want to be. Sides are different. How do you feel? Just going through these last few variations again. We have 5 breaths left. You may just be enjoying your pigeon pose. The next few breaths when the timer goes off, we'll make our way to downward facing dog. All right, saved by the bell. So find your way to down dog. Whew. Pedal out the feet. Take a few moments. Really try to spin your inner thighs back. Press your thighs back. Give your low back some space. And then place your knees down on the ground. Place your forearms down on the ground. Interlace your hands. Tuck your bottom pinky underneath. Walk your feet back into plank on the forearms. Press through the heels. And important here, corset the navel in. So we want some core stabilization after those poses. Heart forward, heels backward, evenly into the arms. Find your breath. Five more breaths. Corset the navel to the spine. All right, so walk your feet in for dolphin. If you're really craving that headstand, go for it, but you'll notice my head is not in the ground. It's more about lengthening the spine. Couple breaths here, wherever you are. If you're in headstand, especially come down into child's pose, or just take a few moments to rest. All right, find your way onto your belly. When you get to your belly, just bend your right knee, slide it up like a half frog. You're gonna slide your right arm forward, your left arm underneath, and then just start to roll into a nice twist. Just moving myself on my mat so I've got some space. But again, any version of this twist you'd like. You could have the knee down and the shoulder more floating. You could have the shoulders down, the knee up. You could even have a nice support under your knees. So just take a version of the twist that is supportive for you. And I'm not going to grab my timer. We'll just count internally 10 breaths. You can use your breath as a mover, so inhaling. Body rising on the breath, exhaling. Body descending. Five more breaths. All right. Slowly unwind, make your way back onto your belly. And when you get to your belly, slide your left knee up like a half frog. Left arm forward, right arm underneath. Lie back, roll back. Arms are out to the side. And do whatever you did on side one. Again, we'll be here for about 10 breaths, just counting your own breath. Ride the breath like a wave. And about 4 more breaths. Okay. Now this time, instead of rolling back onto your belly, you're just going to continue the roll onto your back. And you probably have to shimmy over to the right a little bit to get back on your mat. And when you get to your back, make sure there's nothing under your head like a ponytail or something that would turn your head to the side. Let's find a nice symmetrical back bend. So you can bring your arms by your sides, shoulders root down, hips lift up. Find a nice bridge pose. If you're able to, interlace your hands underneath you, just a nice counter pose for the shoulders. Nice symmetrical back bend. Couple breaths. Now, if you can, keep the hands interlaced, or you can place the hands palms down one on top of one another. As you slowly lower the hips down, sort of pinning those hands under the hips, and then soles of the feet come together into butterfly. Take care of you. If you need to switch this and one is pinning the shoulders or you're just in a butterfly, those are fine. But since I can't grab my timer, we'll just count our breath. So let's count 20 breaths. Close the eyes. Use this as a meditation. You can see if yours seem faster or slower than my breath counts. About halfway through. All right, how do we do? So go ahead and bring the knees together gently if you haven't already. Lift up, remove your hips from your hands. Take a moment. You can let the knees fall into one another, or we'll start to move here into our finishing poses. So you can cross the right knee over the left. You can stay there or reach for the calves or ankles, reclined Gomukhasana, or you can rock yourself up and do the pose seated. And for me, this doesn't really work. I need to set myself up with a blanket first and do the pose from seated. So find your way into Gomukhasana on your back or seated. We'll use the timer for this because I can get to it, and then we'll finish out. So right leg on top of left. Anchor the hips if you're doing the seated version. And the arms are up to you. You might be over the arms, but you're welcome to wrap them up or just let them go. Just for time's sake, I think we're doing maybe 2 minutes, 2.5. I'd love to keep you here longer, but this is what we got. All right. Slowing the breath down now, slowing the body down. And notice how you did in your poses. And sometimes we see these poses in magazines or on screen, and they're from really hyper bendy people. So, people can grab fingers to toes, which is great. But majority of us, that's not really an option in our body. So realizing sort of how you find that muscular engagement, how you find the flexibility, but tailor it to your specific body. Most of the time when we don't make it to sort of that picture pose, it's not because they're not flexible enough. It may be just the shape of the bones, the range of motion in the joints, nothing we can change. You've got about a minute left here in your yin pose. Just observe how you feel. Is any limit you experience tissues that might stretch? Or does any limit feel more like just the range of the motion of the bones? About 6 breaths left here. Okay, bring yourself out and then switch sides. Left leg over right, whatever way, shape, or form that makes sense for you. You may or may not need that blanket underneath. Again, we'll be here about 2.5 minutes as we're coming to the conclusion of our practice. Yin poses are generally around, I like to stay at the middle mark, about 2.5, 3 minutes. It can be up to 5 minutes or longer. And it's not necessarily the pose, but that duration of time that really creates the intensity. And a feeling of gravity. So you'll notice in this pose, you might be gripping or holding or tensing, but it's really sort of that release, that ability to let go in whatever form or shape you're in, even if it means you're leaning or you're slightly not, again, that picture pose that you want. So just let gravity take over any way that affects you. And we're coming up on about 90 seconds left. And the last 5 breaths. All right, so bring yourself out of your pose. Take a finishing pose of choice before Shavasana. So maybe seated for a fold or happy baby, whatever you'd like. We'll move in a moment to Shavasana. So take that finishing pose, something that really allows you to feel complete and centered. A nice forward fold is both centering but stretches the low back after those back bends. So I'm taking a forward fold. You might take plow or happy baby. Or even legs up the wall. If you have that space again, you might end your practice there. All right. So find your way into a Shavasana of choice. And I think because I've made the wall space and I've suggested it, and it may not be something you've done on your own before, I don't know who's here, I think I'm going to end my Shavasana in legs up the wall. So this is a nice option for you as well if you're interested. So if you want to move to the wall, you just sit sideways to the wall as you move into your Shavasana. I'm going to use my blanket here. And we'll see if I even have the space. I've not actually done this in this little space yet. So you sit sideways to the wall. As you lie back, swing the legs up the wall. That works. Or maybe you found your way into your own Shavasana. So we're going to do 2.5 minutes for our Shavasana so that we end on time, and that's what my timer is already set to. All right, so get yourself set up. I'll use the timer so that we can all just relax in our pose. And we've arrived. Shavasana. If you're feeling this in your lower back, legs up the wall is also a really nice way to end your practice. Start to move fingers and toes. Reach the arms overhead. You can bend your knees. And then roll to your right side. Find your way up to seated, whatever that looks like for you. And then as you find your way back, hands to your heart, eyes closed. Just a moment here. Lift your heart Bow your head. Namaste.